Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Shooting lights out.
Good day, good people. How y'all doing today on this beautiful Monday, April 28th, 2025? The playoffs are heating up. One series has been completed in a sweep. Another series could be completed in a sweep tonight. We got other series that is 3-1, and we got a couple of series that's looking to go 2-2. It's a lot going on in the sport of basketball right now, and I'm here for it, man. I hope y'all here for it. Hope y'all enjoy the weekend. It's been interesting to watch these games, these playoff games in the NBA. But as that being going on, the WNBA preseason is getting set to tip up because May 16th is the start of the new WNBA season. So be also preparing for that as well. Within the next 2 weeks, I'll give you my top 5 teams. I'm looking forward to the top five teams going into the new WNBA season. I'm gonna try to do that. Make sure I remember to do that. But these playoffs been something interesting to look at. Hope y'all been enjoying the playoffs as I. But this is where we at. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it going. I'm riding solo today. Shout out to Cole Johnson. Happy birthday today. Told him I'll ride solo today so he can enjoy his birthday. So if y'all on social media, y'all run across Cole Johnson, tell him a happy birthday so he can enjoy his birthday. So I'm riding solo here. So let's jump right into it with some news and notes from around the hardwood. And to begin our around the hardwood session, Portland WNBA team breaks ground on training facility. If I remember what I read correctly, they'll be sharing the facilities with the National Women's Soccer League team, the Portland Thorn. It's interesting to be the first time in American sports history that 2 women's sports teams will be sharing the facility. That's something new, but hey, Portland got their team. They're trying to make things right, get ready for the 2026 when the Portland, they haven't come up with a name yet. They're still working on the name right now, but in 2026, a WNBA team will be in Portland. So next year, so they got about a good year left to get the name going, get some jerseys, get a coach, and then start making their preps to building a team for 2026. But the work has begun. Training facility will be sharing it with the soccer team, the Portland Thorn soccer team. So that's going to be something to look forward to. Next on the list, we're going to talk about this. We are definitely going to talk about this later on. Officials admit error on final shot and Knicks win over the Pistons. We're going to come back to this. Just so you know, we're going to come back to this. Because that, man, oh man. Dame Lillard, he left yesterday's game with a lower leg injury. I can confirm that Sean Sharon has confirmed that it is a left Achilles tendon tear. Dame Lillard did tear his Achilles tendon, which actually sucks. Oh my gosh. With everything that man went through this season, but the blood clot, and he made his way back for the playoffs to be with his team, and left Achilles tendon tear. He could be out for all of next season. And we probably won't see Dame until 2027 if he chooses to play again. Because he's a whole year, man. It's going to be a whole year, maybe 2, without Dame Dollar, which leaves a lot of questions for Milwaukee and Giannis coming up. But we'll revisit this topic and this when we talk about what happened in Milwaukee in Game 4. But man, prayers and thoughts to Damian Lillard. Hope for a full recovery, because that's heartbreaking. That is truly heartbreaking to see this man come back. That's to tear his Achilles. Just devastating. We got some awards to hand out. The sixth man of the year, if you didn't know, is Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. The best sixth man off the bench in the league. The best clutch player, and when you're talking clutch player, you're talking within the last 5 minutes of a game. And nobody has been more clutch than New York Knicks' Jalen Brunson. He gets the key of clutch player of the year. Defensive player of the year went to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley, and the Hustle Awards went to Golden State's Draymond Green. But that was not all, because just announced just a few minutes ago before I went on air, the Teammate of the Year award went to Golden State's own Stephen Curry. So Stephen Curry is the tournament and Stokes Teammate of the Year recipient of the award. So Golden State received 2 more awards. Draymond Green gets the Hustle Award. Steph Curry gets the Teammate of the Year award. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year is Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. And Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks is your Clutch Player of the Year. And that would do it for Around the Hardwood. All right, we're going to take our first break here as we close in on the 8.5-minute mark. And then when we come back, we're going to talk playoffs basketball, because things are heating up in basketball.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, But, this game, after everything Manchester United has been, doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not 1, not 2, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Get mounts of entertainment with Paramount Plus. Stream new movies such as Mean Girls, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and Good Burger 2 with Paramount Plus. Stream live sports such as the UEFA Champions League, the NFL on CBS, the PGA Tour, and March Madness. Catch hit CBS shows such as Fire Country, Ghost, NCIS, and more, but also catch exclusive originals for Paramount Plus such as Special Ops Lioness, The Famous Stallones, the new streaming home of Showtime. Watch Showtime original series and movies when you sign up with Paramount Plus with Showtime. Make it a fun, action-packed adventure for the whole family, and create kid-friendly profiles for the little ones. So much to stream with Paramount Plus, with over 45,000 full episodes from BET, CBS, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, and more. Paramount Plus, mountains of entertainment.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts.
All right, welcome back to Showing the Lights Out here on this glorious Monday, April 28th. Now that we're here on a Monday, let's recap what took place on the weekend. Let's go back to Saturday, playoff Saturday on April 26th. And we're going to begin in the city of Miami, Florida, where it was game 3 between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat as the series shift down to South Beach. But the Miami Heat did not shift down to South Beach. 124-87. 6 Cavaliers were in double figures, led by Jared Allen with 22 points, 10 boards on the day, 8 for 9 from the field, 6 for 6 from three-point range. The other guys that was in double figures for the Cavaliers were Evan Mobley, the aforementioned Defensive Player of the Year. He had 19 points with 6 boards. Donovan Mitchell with 13 points. Matt Strus with 18 points with 9 boards and 5 assists. Then off the bench, you had DeAndre Hunter with 21 points off the bench. And you had Ty Jerome with 13 points and 11 assists. Everything is clicking Cavaliers' way. Just clicking Cavaliers' way. Bam Adebayo, he finally had his breakout game, if you want to call it that. 22 points, 9 boards. Davion Mitchell gave you 16. Tyler Hero only 13, 5 for 13 from the field. Andrew Wiggins only 10 points. And it's just Miami's no match for the Cleveland Cavaliers whatsoever. Cleveland Cavaliers shot 53.5% from the field, 37.5% from the three-point range. Miami shot 42% from the field, 47% from three-point range. They just don't have it. Miami was out rebounded 46-29. That is plus 17 Cavaliers. Cavaliers were plus 14 in the assist department, 32-18. Everything is just Cleveland Cavaliers. So now the Cleveland Cavaliers have a 3-0 lead in this series right here, and they'll look to close that out in game 4. It's Miami just don't have it. They just don't have it. They don't. It is what it is. They don't have it, and nothing else need to be said. We'll talk about game 4 later. Next up is the Oklahoma City Thunder, the 1 seed in the West, going against the HC, the Memphis Grizzlies. And game 4 went like this: 117-115 win for the top seeded team in all of the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Memphis put up a fight, man. They fought hard. They fought all the way through. They just came up short at the end of the day, and 4-0 win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 38 points, 13 for 24 from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 6 assists, 4 steals. The favorite to win MVP in most people's eyes finally had a game that he can be somewhat proud of. It has not been a great series for SGA, but he was able to help close it out. You also had Jalen Williams from the starting lineup give you 23 points. He had a double-double from Isaiah Hartenstein with 11 and 12. Man, Memphis fought hard. Scottie Pippen Jr., 30 points, 11 boards, 4 assists to help try to keep the Memphis Grizzlies season alive. It just wasn't enough. Desmond Bane, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Jerry Jackson Jr. did not have a great series. 12 points in game 4. 3 for 12 from the field. Yeah, you knew without John Morant it was going to be a sweep. Even with John Morant, most likely would have been a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. It's just Memphis doesn't have the horsepower. And plus, when you fire your head coach like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the playoff starts, it's kind of hard to change up what you're trying to do against the best team in the NBA. Record-wise, you see they 68-14. That's what Memphis did. Memphis put themselves in this position. Then you find yourself against the best team in the NBA, and you didn't hold a candle to them until game 4 without your superstar player, and you only lost by 2 points. So this is how the 4-game sweep went. Remember, they opened the series with a 51-point ass whipping on the Memphis Grizzlies. Then some reason Memphis couldn't show up in game 2, and then in game show up, and then game 4 they showed up, but it was too late. Memphis gets the sweep. Now they can begin the process of looking for a new head coach. And then we'll see what happens with Ja Morant. I don't know his contract situation. I might want to look up a little later on and see how that goes. But Memphis is adios amigos, the first team out of the NBA playoffs. And they got to go fishing yesterday on the Inside the NBA crew. They sent them fishing. So y'all enjoy Cancun, and we'll look forward to y'all next year. There you go. Oklahoma City Thunder advanced to the Western Conference Finals. Who are they facing in the Western Conference Finals? Well, they're going to be waiting a while because the Clippers and the Nuggets, they are going back and forth at this one. A thrilling game at Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California, or Inglewood, California, whatever you want to call it. 101 Nuggets, 99 Clippers. We are tied 2-2. Nikola Jokic, 36 points, 21 rebounds, 8 assists. That man had a monster game on Saturday night to cap off amazing. Well, not the night, we had one more game, but you know what I mean. What a game. They put the ball in his hand. He went to work. He looked like the MVP that we know of, Nikola Jokic. Unlike the other 3 games, he looked like the vintage MVP, even though most people believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to win it this time. All 5 starters for the Denver Nuggets scored in double figures, obviously led by the Joker. Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Braun both had 17 points. Aaron Gordon with 14, the most important bucket of all. The put-back dunk at the buzzer to win this game and send it to 2-2, because if they would have went down 3-1 to the Los Angeles Clippers, I don't think Denver comes back. I'm just speaking of how I truly feel. If the Nuggets would have lost this game to the Los Angeles Clippers to go down 3-1, going back to the Mile High City, they're not winning this series. But it's 2-2. It's the best 2 out of 3. Jamal Murray did not have a great game, only 13 points, but he did give you 7 boards and 7 assists on 5 of 17 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3-point range. What a game. On the Clippers side, you're looking at it. Norman Powell had 22 to lead the Clippers. You only got, you got 24 from Kawhi Leonard. James Harden, 15-11. Not a typical James Harden game. Zubac gave you 19 and 12. I mean, Nikola Jokic gave him 36 and 21. Zubac 19 and 12. It's like 19 and 12 ain't nothing to sneeze at. Also with 6 assists, but when you got to deal with that guy, the Joker, and he puts up 36, 21, and 8, you got some work that needs to be done. This when you guys tip your cat to the Joker and say, man, you're right who you are, okay? But it was a great game. Very great game. Physical game back and forth. Nuggets shot 46% from the field, 34.5% from 3-point range. Clippers shot 44% from the field, 33.3% from 3-point range. Both teams shot 11 for 16 from the free throw line. I mean, you can't ask for nothing better than what you got from this game. I mean, both teams had 7 steals. Nuggets was +3 in assists with 28 to 25. And the thing was, the Nuggets had a 22-point lead at one point, and the Clippers fought all the way back. And that's how close this game was. The Denver Nuggets almost pulled a Los Angeles Clippers against the Los Angeles Clippers. If you remember, as I'm sure you the series as both teams won on the road and at home. So that's why we have a 2-2 split. If you remember, the Nuggets shouldn't even won game 1. The Nuggets were down 15 points in the fourth quarter, which is the 8th time that the Clippers had a 15-point lead on this team, and they blew it. The 8th time. So typically, this series should be 3-1, theoretically. But it's not. Because 1, the Clippers can't hold a lead to save their damn life. And then 2, the Nuggets almost pulled the Clippers, but they remember they are not the Clippers, they're the Nuggets, so they was able to withstand and hold off in game 4 to send it back to Denver for a game 5 tied at 2-2. Okay. That's really your two differences in this series. Why the Clippers are not leading the series. They had a lead. They could have stole game. They could have stole both games in Denver, but they blew a 15-point lead in the first game. And then they could have capped off a big comeback of a 22-point comeback on the Denver Nuggets, but the Denver Nuggets held on just good enough to hold on to victory at the end. So now it's best 2 out of 3 to advance to face the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals. Look for some more drama to take place in this series because I think this series is going 7. If it ends in 6, one of the teams didn't show up in game 5, which I doubt. This is going 7. And then the nightcap, we head down to the Bay Area. We head to the West Coast as the Golden State Warriors are heading home to face off the Houston Rockets in game 3. Winner takes a 2-1 series lead because they split both games in Houston. No Jimmy Butler. No problem from Golden State Warriors. 104-93 win over the Houston Rockets. Stephen Curry being Chef Curry as he always does. 36 points. Another 5 3-pointer performances from the Chef. 12 for 23 from the field overall. 7 boards and 9 assists. That man was going for a triple-double against the Houston Rockets without the service of Jimmy Butler. Before I get to Houston side, let me go ahead and praise the Golden State Warriors side. So you had 36, 7, and 9 from Steph Curry. You got 10 from Brandon Brzezinski. You got 17 from Buddy Hield. You got 16 from Gary Payton II. You got contributions across the board. Jonathan Kuminga got into the starting lineup. It was nice to see, but only played 17 minutes. We did give you 7 points, though. I might need some. I don't know what's going on with Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr. I don't know if there's some beef going on, whatnot, but Jonathan Kuminga is not really seeing the floor like I think he should, or it's the whole Jonathan Kuminga thing that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing to get on the floor. I don't know what it is, but it's a little strange because one of the most athletic guys on the Golden State Warriors is Jonathan Kuminga, and you're going against an athletic team in the Houston Rockets. But hey, they up 2-1, so I can't complain too much. As for the Houston Rockets, okay, you had 5 players scoring double figures. You had led by Fred VanVleet, we gave you 17, 15 of which came in the first half, by the way. Think about that. Sargon gave you 15 and 11. Dylan Brooks gave you 13-6 before fouling out. Thompson gave you 11 and 7 and 4. Jalen Green gave you 9, 6 and 5. Jabari Smith Jr. came off the bench, gave you 12 and 5. Okay, number 1, Jalen Green. You had a prime opportunity to take this series into your hands and send a message like Anthony Edwards did, which I will get to in our other subject when we talked about Sunday's action. Jalen Green, you shot 4 for 11 from the field, but only 9 points. First of all, you only took 11 shots in that whole game. You played 39 minutes. Okay. And you only took 11 shots. That's one that's unacceptable. Number 2, you only gave me 9 points. If you're trying to be a star in this league, especially in these playoffs, because the playoffs is where you actually become actual stars, to be honest with you. You got to do more than just give me 9 points. And then you did give me 6 boards. You did give me 5 assists. But, man, we need to up. What you did in game 2 is what we need to see going forward from Jalen Green. That Jalen Green that showed up in game 2, that's the Jalen Green that needs to show up in the playoffs consistently. Okay? Let me go to the game 2 statistics. Let me see what he did in game 2. Because what you did in game 2, that's the Jalen Green we need to see moving forward. Not what we got this weekend on Saturday. That's not what we need to see from Jalen Green, okay? That's not how Houston's going to get better and make a deep run in the playoffs. We need more from Jalen Green. So in game 2, Jalen Green scored 38 points with 4 boards and 6 assists. He was 13 for 25, 8 from 18 from 3-point range. That was game 2. Game 3, 4 for 11 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3-point range, 9 points. 14 less shots from the field, 13 less 3-pointers taken from 3 points taken from game 2 to game 3, and you scored a whopping 29 points less. You can't do that. You can't do that in the playoffs. Now you young. It's your first learning experience of the playoffs. You have to be consistent in the playoffs. Inconsistency will get you put out. Inconsistency will get you eliminated in the playoffs, especially against a team that is a champion like Golden State. When you have Steph Curry, when you have Draymond Green, if Jimmy Butler does return from his injury, those guys have been a part of deep runs in these playoffs. Been part of championship teams with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler has been to 2 finals appearances, lost to the Lakers in the bubble, and he lost to the Denver Nuggets 2-3 years ago. You have a young team. Dylan Brooks, he never been this far. I mean, he never been to the finals. Flavor Embiid has been to the finals. He's a champion for the Toronto Raptors. So they need to get in Jalen Green and say, hey, man, what you did in game 2, that's what we need going forward. We don't need you taking 11 shots and only getting 9 points. No. You need to be in the upper teens, the 18. I need you taking 18 to about 22 shots, Jalen Green. I need you to take that. I need you to get about 20 to 25, 20 to 30 points a game. You're the franchise player for this team, unless they're going in a different direction and we don't know about. But as far as I know, Jalen Green is the face of the franchise. We need him to be the face of the franchise in the playoffs. You was in game 2. Nowhere to be found again. You didn't show up in game 3. And that's why you're down 2-1. When an important game 4 going on tonight, which we'll talk about later on. So this is where we're standing at. Game 1, I let it slide. Because, game 1, that was their first ever time in the playoffs. I let game 1 slide. So, hey, they had to learn. They had to learn and realize, oh, this is a different type of game here we're playing. It's still basketball, but it's a different type of atmosphere we're playing here in the playoffs. So they had to learn. They learned that in game 2, they came out smoking. Jalen Green did his thing and all that good stuff. And then game 3, without Jimmy Butler in the lineup, you let the Golden State Warriors catch you slipping. And you can't let a team like Golden State Warriors catch you slipping. And then, by the way, you had double-digit lead. You had a lead of 13. And you let it, and you blew it. So you cannot have this happen. But it's a learning experience for the Houston Rockets, and I know Coach Johnson didn't enjoy that on Saturday. But hey, it's a learning experience for the Houston Rockets. Maybe they'll learn. They'll show up in game 4. We shall see. Okay. That was the Saturday playoff edition. When we come back from our commercial break here, we'll go into Sunday's edition of the NBA playoffs.
Welcome to Ringside Chaos. The thing with Tony Khan now being in talks to buy WWE, I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to this with Ricky Litwinkowicz, a.k.a. the Master of Mayhem, and he honestly believes that me talking about Tony Khan buying WWE is basically I'm kind of wasting my time because Ricky believes it's never going to happen. Okay. Now, a wrestling fan that's been super supportive of Brody Lee as a wrestler and everything that WWE could have done with him and, everything that he could have shown and, offered for the wrestling business. For me, I wasn't just a fan of Brody Lee himself, like in character. I strongly respected him, as a human being. Like, I had a lot of respect for Jonathan Huber. That's Mr. Brody Lee's real name. So basically, I had a lot of respect for Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and of course, Mr. Jonathan Huber. Ladies and gentlemen, Ringside Chaos is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
WWE Shop is your online source for all things WWE. Be a part of the excitement and score wrestling gear for big events like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. From current superstars to legends, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. Don't miss this chance to shop for the most awesome WWE merch. Shop for the best deals as well as WWE gift cards and save big on your favorite items. WWE Shop at Fanatics Experience.
Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site.
AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay, then we LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel.
And welcome back to Shooting Lights Out here as we continue to go on. Before I continue to go on, remember that Shooting Lights Out is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and where else you get your podcasts today. You also can listen to this on the Real Rise Radio. Shout out to Real Rise Radio and 502 American Angel Radio as well. We are doing big things. We continue to expand. We are continuing to try to bake barriers for the Playmakers Blog Network. As we continue on here, we went through Saturday. Now let's go through Sunday's action in the NBA playoffs, beginning in probably the most physical series that is going on right here, right now in the playoffs. The New York Knicks, the 3 seed, taking on the 6 seed, the Detroit Pistons in Game 3. Oh my goodness. 94-93 win for the New York Knicks, taking a 3-1 lead. Jalen Brunson with 32 points, 5 boards, 11 assists. The men was 13 for 26 from the field. 4 and 7 from 3-point range to get the dub. Karl Anthony Towns continued his play from game 3 to game 4, adding 27 points, 9 boards, and 3 blocks. What a day. Even Josh Hart showed up, gave you 14 points with 10 rebounds, gave you a double-double. You got 8 apiece for Miles Bridges and OG Anunoby. And then for the Detroit Pistons side, 25, 10, and 10 from Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham got you a triple-double, 10 boards, 10 assists with 25 points, 11 for 23 from the field. 18 for Tobias Harris with 8 boards, Tim Hardaway Jr., 14 points. The problem is this. Now, I know people has been commenting on my post saying that, hey, man, they've been letting them boys play all game, man. They've been consistent. They didn't call the foul, by the way, which was a foul on Josh Hart on Tim Hardaway Jr. It was a foul. It was most definitely a foul. I saw it live, and I said it was a foul. They let them play. Man, I don't know what is coming from Knicks fans tonight. I'm not going to speculate, but I know what I saw. So if you go back to our Around the Highway segment, officials admit error on final shots and Knicks win over Pistons. Chris Henry of ESPN wrote this article. I'm going to read it here. In a highly physical game 4 between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons, in which seemingly so many contract field plays weren't resulting in fouls, officials acknowledged after the fact that one huge one was missed on their final play. But the Knicks leading by 1. Detroit's Tim Hardaway Jr. draws contact from New York's Josh Hart as Hardaway went up for the potential winning shot with 0.3 seconds remaining. The 3-point attempt misfired, and the sold-out crowd awaited a foul call. It never came, incensing the Pistons bench and fans. The Knicks, meanwhile, escaped with a 94-93 victory and a 3-1 series lead in the best-of-7 first round. After the contest, crew chief David Godfrey told pool reporters that officials should have called a foul on Hart, saying, quote, during live play, it was judged that Josh Hart made legal defensive play. After post-game review, we observed that Hart makes body contact that is more than marginal to Hardaway Jr., and a foul should have been called, close quote. we go into these playoff games, whether it's the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, the MLB playoffs, or the NFL playoffs, and even March Madness if you're college basketball fans, or even the college football playoffs if you're college football fans. We don't want the refs to be the headline. Guess what? Guess what's the headline for Game 4 between the Knicks and the Pistons? The refs. And why is that? Because you say after the fact, a foul should have been called on Josh Hart. But you know what that does? Nothing for the Detroit Pistons. Because why? They are down 3-1. The opportunity was taken away from the Detroit Pistons. That's all I'm saying. The opportunity. A 3-point shot by Tim Hardaway Jr., who was fouled by Josh Hart, meaning he would have went to the line for 3 free throws. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a great free throw shooter, by the way. Let me see Tim Hardaway's career average on shooting free throws. I think that's something to look at when I talk about this. Tim Hardaway is a career 81.5% free throw shooter. So basically, he's making at least 2 of the 3 free throws, meaning Detroit goes up 95-94 at the end of the game. Meaning this series is 2-2 going to back to MSG and not 3-1. So essentially here, and y'all can feel whatever the way y'all want to feel about me when I say this. New York fans, Detroit Pistons fans, basketball fans, NBA, I don't care. Essentially, the refs decided this series. Essentially. Because instead of being 2-2, the best 2 out of 3, it's 3-1, but the Knicks only need to win one more game before they move on to the second round. Now, of course, there are other things that could have happened in the course of a 48-minute game of the NBA games that could have led to the Detroit Pistons finding a way to win this game, despite having the obvious missed call on the final possession of the game, which ultimately pretty much determined the game and the series, by the way. At one point, Detroit had an 11-point lead, didn't keep it. Same as the Knicks. The Knicks had a 16-point lead, didn't keep it. Detroit did not capitalize on the fact that the New York Knicks shot 37.4% from the field because the Detroit Pistons shot 24% from 3-point range, while the Knicks shot 45.5% from 3-point range. While the Detroit Pistons as a whole shot 43% from the field. So, if you want to play devil's advocate, you can circle the 3-point shooting percentages for the Detroit Pistons because you shot 24% and you're in your own building, by the way. So you can look at that. The Detroit Pistons out-rebounded the New York Knicks 54-38. That is plus 16 in favor of the Pistons. The assists is about even. 19 for the Knicks, 18 for the Pistons. Also, you want to circle something against the Detroit Pistons to defend the New York Knicks. You can circle the turnovers. Detroit had 19 turnovers. The Knicks only had 10. So that's minus 9 by the Detroit Pistons in the turnover category, which is not good. Each team was called for 17 fouls. But if we're going to be completely honest about this, the Detroit Pistons was robbed of an opportunity to win the game. Robbed of an opportunity. Not the Knicks' fault. Not the New York Knicks' fault. The Knicks benefited from it, but it's not their fault. You know, the refs didn't call a lot of things, and this missed call has came back to bite the refs in the behind because now they're the headlines of the game, of this game 4. And it has bitten the Detroit Pistons because now they are down 3-1. They have to win 3 straight to beat the New York Knicks, which is not going to happen. So essentially, the refs missing this call effectively, in my humble opinion, has ended this series for the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks will go on to win this series, and they'll move on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. This series is over. You can feel whatever way you want to feel about it, but essentially, if we're gonna keep it a buck, if we're gonna keep it 100%, the refs ended this series. Now you can say it's not fair to New York Knicks. They did what they needed. When you have a blatant miscall, when you have a miscall like that, and this is right, the crew chief of the who ref this game, the crew, not the independent guy that's in New York and watching the game, and then no, the guy who was in charge of refereeing this game came after the game and told the reporters, we missed that call, which does nothing but hurt the Detroit Pistons and their fan base even more. Because now you're saying that after the fact, but Tim Hardaway can't get those free throws. So we don't know. And he's an 81.5% free throw shooter. So I'm giving you 2 free throws by that. That's a win for Detroit. That's 95-94 win. Unless he hits all 3. Neither way, I got him making 2 of the 3. If not all 3, Detroit wins. It's 2-2 going back to MSG. And we have a series here. But now it's 3-1. New York wins both games in Detroit after splitting in MSG. And Detroit has a hell of a battle to climb now, which I don't see them climbing whatsoever. So here's the breakdown of the first 4 games here. It's a shame that this is the way that it happened, but if we're gonna speak truth to power, which is what I like to do, and keep it a buck, Detroit was robbed. And now they face Mount Everest. And I don't see them climbing Mount Everest. That's just me. But hey, that's how yesterday began. Yesterday began with craziness. And then we head out to Minnesota, to the Twin Cities, because it was the T-Wolves and the Los Angeles Lakers in game 4 of that series with T-Wolves up 2-1. Well, let's make it 3-1. 116-113 win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Ant-Man Edwards. 43 points. 9 boards. 6 assists. 12 from 23 from the field. 5 for 10 from 3-point range. 14 for 17 from the free throw line. That man shot above 50% from the field. That man shot 50% from 3-point range. And that man during this shot 90% from the free throw line. My goodness. Anthony Ant-Man Edwards looked at the Lakers with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and said, I'm kicking y'all ass. I'm whooping y'all ass, damn it. This is pretty much the same thing he did last year to the Phoenix Suns when they had Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. He was going at Kevin Durant. This series, he's going at LeBron James. Ant-Man, I know you said a while back that you didn't want to be the face of the league, but dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you finish this deal right here, if you finish off LeBron James, Luka Doncic, you will be the face of the league. By simply people having history of you taking out KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal the year before, and now you taking out LeBron James and Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers the following year in the first round. People are gonna look at you like, bro, I love Edwards. I love Anthony Edwards. This is what's gonna happen. And I know he said he didn't want to be the face of the league, but you might become the face of the league, sir. The way that you show up in these type of games against the opposition that you go against, it is something. Man, we can talk about Anthony Edwards for the rest of this segment here if we really want to, but we're not going to do that. But just know, Ant-Man is on his way to be the face of the league. If y'all don't believe me, Ant-Man about to be the face of the league. That man is a dog. That man don't care who is across from him. That man went at his mentor last year, Kevin Durant. Now he's going at King James and having King James look at him like, this dude's really here. Ant-Man is here, okay? Outside of Ant-Man, Julius Randle showed up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 25.7 boards. You like that. You got 16 and 11 from Jaden McDaniels. You got 12 from Nas Reed. That's basically it. Because you know why? The Lakers didn't use their bench, really. After 4 minutes, Jackson Hayes was taken out of the starting lineup. Insert Dorian Finney-Smith, who played 41 minutes. Jackson Hayes played 4 minutes. Jared Vanderbilt played 7 minutes. Goodwin played 7 minutes, and Gabe Vincent played 13 minutes. That's all they got in minutes wise on their bench. Rui Hachimura played 41 minutes. LeBron James 46 minutes. Luka Doncic 46 minutes. Austin Reed 46 minutes, and as I said, Dorian Finney-Smith played 41 minutes. That was pretty much they starting 5 in the second half. Austin Reed, Luka Doncic, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura. Luka Doncic gave you 38 points. LeBron James gave you 27, 12, and 8. And that man almost had a triple-double. The man had a triple-double in game 3, and they still lost. Rui Hachimura gave you 23 and 5. Austin Reed, 17. This has not been the Austin Reed series whatsoever. That man has not had a fun series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We have not seen Dr. Connect in this series. We haven't seen Shake Milton in this series. We haven't seen Markieff Morris in this series. The Lakers are down 3-1. JJ, what you gonna do, sir? Your back is against the wall as of right now. Once that buzzer hit 0 and you down 3-1, going back to Los Angeles, oh boy. It is trouble in Los Angeles right now. And I can't put it on LeBron. I can't put it on Luka. They doing what they're doing their thing. Okay. LeBron gave you 27, 12, and 8. Problem is, from what I heard and what I'm trying to remember from watching the game, LeBron ain't take no shots in the fourth quarter. Why he ain't take no shots in the fourth quarter? It could be a many of different things. That man is working his butt off on defense because how many blocks he had? That man had 3 blocks on defense. That man had 3 steals as well. So he's working his ass off on defense too. It's not that like LeBron, he doesn't show. Now, I'm not a LeBron fan here, but I'm going to keep it a buck, okay? LeBron was working his ass off on defense. That man had 3 blocks. That man had 3 steals. That man was making a difference on the defensive side. Offensively, he probably didn't have it because he was working his ass off on defense, so goddamn. But LeBron, let me go to game 3 and see what LeBron did in game 3 because they did lose 116 to 104. Let me get LeBron's numbers. LeBron numbers in game 3 was 38 points. Remember, the game 3 was when Luka had the stomach flu, whatever you want to call it. He wasn't feeling good. In game 3, LeBron gave you 38 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. That man had two steals and 2 blocks. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. LeBron is trying. Even at the age of 40. Why is it healthy? What's up, sir? That is the man in charge of the Real Rise Radio, where you can listen to Shooting Lights Out. But LeBron is trying. I gotta give him that. He's trying. They just don't have enough. I mean, even though Luka was sick in game 3, he still scored 17 points. But these boys are getting out physical. These boys are getting out. Minnesota were more athletic than them. They are more aggressive than them. And it's being shown that y'all might have Luka and LeBron, but they ain't gonna cut it in the playoffs, buddy. That's what Minnesota is telling the Los Angeles Lakers right now. Yeah, y'all got King James and Luka Magic. They ain't gonna be enough to beat us. And Ant-Man went for 43 points in game. And if I remember correctly, Ant-Man in game 3, what Ant-Man had in game 3? Ant-Man had 29 in game 3. Matter of fact, let me go to Ant-Man's season statistics because I want to know what he's actually doing to these boys during this series because he's balling. All right, so against the Lakers this series, he has 19 points per game, 3 assists a game. I think that's all the games they're talking about. I just want to look at the series. I just want the series right here. That's all. Okay, Ant-Man is shooting 45% from the field, 43% from 3-point range, 7.8 rebounds a game. So about 8 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. And he is averaging damn near 30 points a game in this series. That man is beating on the Lakers. like there's no tomorrow. This is what he's doing. And then, sure enough, and I'm gonna go to the Lakers because I want to see LeBron's number because I'm giving LeBron credit. LeBron's trying. It's just not working. It's not working for the Lakers whatsoever because they getting beat to the punch. This is what happens when you let Jaden McDaniels beat you in game one. That's what happens. So if I'm looking at LeBron's season statistics, he's shooting 50% from the field, 39% from three-point range, giving you 9.5 rebounds a game, 5.5 assists a game, and he's giving you 26 points a game. Like I said, he's trying. He's trying, but I can truly say he don't have help in this series. I don't know why. Austin Reeves is having a terrible series. I do mean terrible. I don't know. Is he too slow for this series and Minnesota is just too much for him or what it is, but AR is not here. AR is shooting 42% from the field, 35% from three-point range, and he's giving you 17 a game. The numbers sound good, but when you watch it, you're not seeing it. I don't know what's going on. So in the offseason, Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick, they need to get together and make some changes because I hate to ask this question, but I think it's fair enough for me to ask it. Would this series be going like this when Anthony Davis was still here in LA with the Lakers? Would it be a Minnesota 3-1 series lead if Anthony Davis was still with LeBron James and not Luka Doncic? Just asking. I'm just asking. Y'all tell me. Y'all let me know. Would the Lakers still be down 3-1 if Anthony Davis is still with the Los Angeles Lakers and Luka Doncic is still with the Dallas Mavericks? That's my question for the day. That is the question for the day. Matter of fact, we're going to put this in the chat because I want y'all to know. Because that is truly the question of the day for me. Because I have to ask that question. So let me put this in the chat. Because that is a very interesting question that I just thought about. Y'all let me know. Will this still be a 3-1 series if Anthony Davis is with the Lakers? Or would it be 3-1 the other way? I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the trade happened. But it is something to think about. Because the NBA pundits are talking about how Luka can't guard nobody. Luka's getting blown past by regard. AR's getting blown past. When you had Anthony Davis, you had a shot blocker. You had a rim protector in Anthony Davis. So that's why I'm posing the question. It's a fun question to ask. I usually don't ask questions like this, but I think it's a question that needs to be asked. Would this series still be going the way that it's going if Anthony Davis was still with the Lakers? He had a rim protector, a shot blocker. That's a question to ask. I know we don't deal in hypotheticals either, but hey, for once, let me ask this question because I want to hear from Laker Nation here. I want to hear from Laker Nation. I want Laker Nation to let me know how they feel right now because the way this series is going, I know LeBron came back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. He ain't doing that against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards ain't letting that damn thing happen. I refuse to believe that Anthony Edwards is going to let the Minnesota Timberwolves lose 3 straight games to lose to the Denver Lakers. I refuse to believe that because I don't see LeBron James coming back from 3-1 this time. So there's going to be a lot of questions to be asked during the offseason. Why? Because they're the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why. They're the Lakers. They're the Lakers. You don't want to see the Lakers get beat like this. Well, they get their ass whooped like this. They have lost 2 straight. They lost game 1, so they down 3-1. LeBron James got to put another monkey wrench out of his hat on this one. to get this one done. I don't see it happening. It is what it is. So Lakers down 3-1. Can Anthony Edwards finish them off in Game 5 in LA? Talk about poeticness in that one. From the Lakers to the Boston Celtics, as the second seeded Celtics, the 2 seed in the East taking on the 7 seed Orlando Magic. And then 107-98 win in Game 4 by the Boston Celtics to take a 3-1 series lead over the Magic. Jason Tatum, 37 points, 10 for 25 from the field. 14 for 14 from the free throw line, which is remarkable in his own right. How we let him get to the line that many damn times. 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Before I get to my Magic here, we're going to focus on Boston Celtics real quick. Outside of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, 21 points, 11 boards. Kristaps Porzingis, 19 points, 5 boards. Derek White, 18 points, 7 boards, 7 assists. They are the reigning defending champions. This is routine for these guys, so they really ain't much to be said. But it is funny that they shot 29% from 3-point range, and they still was able to win the damn game. They was 9 for 31 from 3-point landing, but they still managed to score 107 points. Then we get to my Orlando Magics. Paolo Banchero, 31.7 boards. Franz Wagner, 24 points, 6 boards, 7 assists. Wendell Carter Jr., 9 points with 11 rebounds. Corey Joseph finally decided to show up in this series for once. 12 points, 6 assists. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who finally had a game where he can actually put the ball in that damn bucket. 8 points. Anthony Black, 10 points off the bench. I'm going to say this, and I have some Celtics fans believe me, agree with me when I said this. Why? Since you were in the chat, I want to see if you agree with me on this one. When you are the Orlando Magic doing these 4 games here, there are 2 games where you gave the game to the Boston Celtics. You gave them the game. That would be game 2 at Boston, and that would be yesterday at home. How did you get in the game? Because you made silly mistakes in the 4th quarter. You turn the ball over in the 4th quarter. You commit silly fouls in the 4th quarter. You take ill-advised shots in the 4th quarter. I get it. We don't have Jalen Suggs. We don't have Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner's brother. But yet and still, Game 2 and Game 4 was there too for the taking by the Orlando Magic, and silly mistakes by the Magic against the defending champions put you down 3-1 in this series. When you're the defending champs, you look for the other team to make the mistakes, and you don't make them. That's pretty much what Boston is doing. Boston is not making mistakes. Magic are making the mistakes. The Celtics are capitalizing on them, and that's why they're going to finish off the Orlando Magic in 5. Maybe 6. I'm saying 5 though because it's going back to Boston. And Boston like to know how to close out teams. That's why they're the reigning defending champions as we speak. Orlando, you had your opportunities. You didn't take advantage of them. You could have stole game 2 in Boston if you would have made better shot selection and didn't turn the ball over. Last night at home, you could have won the game if you didn't turn the ball over and you didn't put them at the free throw line as much as you did in the 4th quarter. I hope the Magic understand what they did to themselves, not Boston, what they did to themselves. Y'all put yourself down in this 3-1 deficit. which you can't do when you're facing the defending champ, but you did. And it's a shame because this team has so much potential. We'll see when Jalen Suggs get back next year. We'll see when Mo Wagner get back next year. This team fully loaded would look like. But even not fully loaded, you had your opportunities and you didn't capitalize on them. And the Celtics, as the champions that they are, made you pay for every opportunity you didn't capitalize on. And that's all I have to say about that series. And then the final game of the weekend takes us to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Bucks take on the Indiana Pacers in the 4-5 matchup. And the Pacers go up 3-1, 129 to 103. And you knew once Damian Lillard went down, that it's officially been known as that left Achilles tendon tear. You knew it was over for the Milwaukee Bucks. Everything inside of Milwaukee Bucks left when Dame went down. For the Pacers, Miles Turner, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks. 8 Pacers scored in double figures. Obviously, Miles Turner was the leader. Andrew Nembhard gave you 20. You got a double-double from Tyrese Halliburton with 15 assists, 17 points. 8 rebounds. Man, it was closing in on a triple-double. Neesmith had you 14. Pascal Siakam gave you 12. Obi Toppin off the bench gave you 13. Walker off the bench gave you 12. TJ McConnell off the bench gave you 15. 8 Pacers scored in double figures. That's why you have the blowout of a 26-point win by the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers are just a better team than Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 28 points, 15 boards, 6 assists. Obviously, Dame went down 6 minutes into the game. Outside of that, the only other person that came to try to help Giannis was Kevin Porter Jr. with 23 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. Bobby Portis gave you 14, but Brook Lopez didn't show up, only 6 points. Gary Trent Jr. after a remarkable game 3, 6 points in game 4. Kyle Kuzma, 3 points. He did give me an assist. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks, they just don't have it. They don't. And the Indiana Pacers are showing it to the entire world. It's Giannis, and that's it. That's all they got. Giannis, and that's it. Giannis, and that's it. That's just all they got. So this series should be officially over relatively soon. Hopefully game 5, maybe game 6. But Milwaukee doesn't have it. Indiana should be moving on. Indiana should be moving on. They will most likely be in the matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up. And that's all that's to it. Why I ask a question? Why it says, who is taking the fall when the Lakers get eliminated? I'm looking at Rob Pelinka because you gave away pretty much your best defender, and it's showing against Minnesota Timberwolves because you have no rim protector to go against these guys of Minnesota, and they're kicking your ass. We all know the thing over with Luka. And Nico Harris said he traded Luka because of the conditioning, where the conditioning is showing up in the playoffs. The reason why Nico traded Luka is showing up in the playoffs because he can't defend anybody. He can't defend anybody. And that's a liability in the playoffs, especially in the playoffs. As much as offense Luka got, Luka can give you 40 a night if he really want to. Let's not get it twisted. But when you can't defend and a team like Minnesota make you defend, it's easy money. Or as Shaq would say, barbecue chicken. We're going to speak truth to power. So if there's somebody to look at for the Lakers 3-1 failure or this first round exit, Rob Pelinka, you better get me some defensive help with your JJ Redick. You better give me some guy that can play defense, that can play inside, that we can do some things. But, I mean, can't fault LeBron. Can't fault Luka. If you some people who want to be petty and stuff, I guess you can look at AR because he wasn't AR this series, I guess. But in all truth, Rob Pelinka, you ain't getting the man no inside help. All your folks went out to the wings and the perimeter, and you get your butt whooped inside. There's nothing else to it. You're getting out rebounded by the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're getting second chance points, and second chance points. They cashing in on them mostly from threes and that, or they just running their offense and they blowing past Lakers to get to the hole, kick out 3-pointers, or making layups, or getting fouled to the line. I mean, no matter what you look at, it's defensively that's kicking the Lakers' ass. It's not offensively; it's defensively. They can't do it on defense. So that's what it is to it. One final break, and then get you ready for the upcoming games, and then we'll be out of here.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
In a world where chronicles of the past are brought to the streams, whether the content is relatable or completely beyond your realm of life, there is no shadow of a doubt that this show is absolutely full of shenanigans. Get ready for
D. Willie in the evening.
This Sunday at 10:05 p.m. Eastern.
Exclusively on Sartoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Liz. Liz is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Liz has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Lock.
And as we get ready to close up shop here today, upcoming games starting with tonight, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers looking for the sweep of the Miami Heat. 7:30 p.m. on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. I'll just match at this one in time. Cavaliers are 8.5-point favorite for all my betting people out there. The over-under is 211.5. Money line is Miami plus 320. I like the Cleveland Cavaliers to finish this off. Miami they have nothing to compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers, so I like Cleveland to go ahead and finish them off and possibly get ready for the Pacers in round 2, the semifinals. The Golden State Warriors host the Houston Rockets afterwards, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, TNT, 2 TV, and Max. That'll be game 4 of that series. Golden State looking to take a 3-1 series lead, and Houston's trying to get back to Houston, tied up at 2. Golden State is a 4.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet. The total is 203.5 with the money line with Houston plus 150. That is tonight, your doubleheader tonight. Tomorrow we have a 4-game slate tomorrow, beginning at 6 p.m. on EBA TV with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers back in Indiana. Indiana looking to close out that series with a 3-1 lead. Pacers are currently a 7.5-point favorite. The total is 222.5. Money line Milwaukee plus 260 as of right now. That's on NBA TV. Then an hour and a half later on TNT and Max, it'll be Game 5 between the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Knicks trying to close out that series. Detroit looking to get it back to Detroit for a Game 6. New York's is 5.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet. Total is 213.5 with the money line Detroit plus 180. Then back on NBA TV at 8:30, the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics meeting Game 5 of that series, where back in TD Garden, where I believe the Boston Celtics will finish off my Orlando Magic. Boston's 11.5-point favorite. The total is 199.5. And the money line is Orlando plus 475. If you're betting, do not put money on the Orlando Magic. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I don't see us winning in Boston. I think Boston's going to have that team effort performance, and where everybody gets into the action, we're just going to get our ass whipped. It's just where it is. And then flip over back to TNT and Max at 10 p.m. Game 5 between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets series tied 2-2. The important 3-2 lead is important here. ESPN Bet have the Clippers at a 1.5 favorite in this one. Denver is plus 110, and the over-under is 208.5. That is Tuesday. Oh, not done yet. And then we go to Wednesday. The betting favors and I don't listen, but here's your game. If somehow Miami decides to win tonight's game, then you'll have Game 5 back in Cleveland. That'll be on NBA TV at 7 p.m. But you will have Games 5 between the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors back in Houston. That'll be 7:30 p.m. That'll be on TNT, True TV, and Max. That is Wednesday. This is Wednesday slate, ladies and gentlemen. And then also you'll have Game 5 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers on a Wednesday. That'll be after Golden State and Houston between the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are looking to close out the Los Angeles Lakers. So that'll do it for today's episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You better be watching on the Playmakers Bar X account or the Playmakers Bar YouTube channel. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay up to date on that. Remember, you can catch Shooting Lights Out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the Real Wise Radio, along with 502 American Angel Radio. Speaking of Wise, thank you for hopping in the chat, my brother. Appreciate you anytime you hop in the chat and you chat it up with me as I do these shows. Also, remember, the Playmakers Bar is sponsored by Fanatics, Lids, and Paramount Plus. So get your gear, get your sports gear, whether it be Fanatics, who is the official sports license of everything sports, or Lids.com, where you get your customized hat or your favorite hat, team wearing hat stuff. And then Paramount Plus, where you can stream live TV shows, you can stream countless of things from live sports to live news to catch up on your favorite shows with Nickelodeon, CBS, MTV, BET, and therefore and so more. Also, you can get Showtime with Paramount Plus, Mountains of Entertainment with Paramount Plus. I am the Playmaker signing out for today's episode. And then I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all be blessed and enjoy the week of some more NBA basketball.
You've done good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas. Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.
Masterpiece.